Hey guys, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to be updated every time I make a new video. Thanks, let's begin. It's like if Doom had creatures from The Thing and From Beyond, but it took place on a boat. Deep Black. This is the 2017 horror action sci-fi novel from writer Chris McInally. The plot: a British ship, the HMS Erebus, containing weird experiments, cross into Scottish waters. Soon after, a team of Irish Special Forces soldiers go to investigate. What they find will morph into a struggle for survival against mutating creatures and zombies. This is an interesting book to review. On one hand, it's got intense action sequences of peril and terror, and is well written. Perhaps too well written, because on the other hand, it's a bit bogged down by descriptions, and does make the overall experience just a tad boring. It also doesn't help that this idea isn't anything new. For many scenes, the book held my attention. Even when the slower parts came, there was usually an action-packed cap-off to that particular section of the book. For the characters on the Special Forces team side, we have the Devils, which consists of Lieutenant McInally, the leader of the group, and what a great leader he is. He fights off the creatures, helps his wounded, and will do anything rationally to complete the mission. Sean Fitzpatrick is a badass fighter. He goes toe-to-toe with several creatures and zombies, and for most of the book, he's by himself. Padraig Moynihan, or Moynihan, I guess, the injured guy, is injured very early on in the book, but he still tries to put up a fight, a valiant effort, for sure. Robert Stewart is the rookie, and he sees a lot of crap. His mental state is like, how am I supposed to handle this? You're the new guy. If you didn't have mental issues by the end of this book, there'd be something wrong with you. Then there's Joe McDonnell, an older character, who is good friends with McCullough. Michael Flattery, Thomas Riley, and Kevin Kavanagh round out the rest of the soldiers. There's nothing too memorable about them. For the scientists, we have Monica. She experiments on creatures and ends up causing most of this. But she does feel regretful, and she is on the soldiers' side. We also have Marcus, who wants everything to be kept a secret, but the crazier shit gets, the more Monica spills the beans. There's also a separate boat of characters, a Special Boat Services, the SBS, Malcolm Bresford, who is the leader, Gardner, communications officer, Reynolds, and Taylor. They're expendable. The thing about the Devils' group is that they're introduced gradually. Each character is given a backstory and such in good time, while the SBS are kind of rushed and are not given a lot of character development. And it is understandable because it is later in the book. Another thing that wasn't developed quite well was Monica's and McCullough's relationship. Their feelings for each other are mentioned here and there. It's expressive more so than discussed, but even that isn't used to its full potential. Like, they look at each other and smile, but the dialogue, it's not there. You could chalk it up to the rampant running around and being chased, leaving no room for love interests, but if that's the case, why even do one then? This book is a little over 150 pages, and yet again, McInally proves to take risks by killing off a bunch of the characters early on, Aliens style. It's a trademark by this point. Still, the horror on page is quite exaggerated and grotesque, like a creature from John Carpenter's The Thing, or something out of an H.P. Lovecraft-based movie. These startling mental images the book creates do help to keep the pacing going. Also, there's a lot of experiments on this vessel. Tentacled beasties, zombies, and even a shark man monstrosity, dubbed Carcarius after the great white shark's scientific name. The gore! People are torn apart, limbs severed, heads ripped off. It's a messy story. There are not too many memorable kills, and they all kind of blend together after a while. The abundance of head explosions is nice though. Zombies get it pretty bad in this book. Genetic experimenting apparently goes a long way because there are some psychotic pale-skinned personnel aboard the Eberus. The tentacle terrors, zombies, and Sharkman are there, as well as a freaky rat if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, there is a rat in this too. They all pose real threats to the characters. The proposed film score. Originally, I was going to suggest Tyler Bates, given his score to the John Wick series, but I thought his style was a bit too cool and edgy for the way this book was written. Then I realized there's another Steadicam action movie that came out that might actually work better in this situation. Mike Shinoda and Joseph Trapanese, who composed the English version of The Raid, would have been perfect. While I love the Indonesian soundtrack to The Raid, I feel the English one would pack more punch for a creature feature. Namely, tracks like Gear Up and Drug Lab would leave the viewer immersed in both the edginess and grit. It'd be the darker side of cool. Also, during the climax, I was just envisioning hearing the song Super Beast by Rob Zombie. It'd be awesome if they had that in the scene where they fight the Carcarius atop the Erebus's deck. I could just imagine the Sharkman clawing his way out of the gap in the ship while the sci-fi induced intro plays from Super Beast. And then when the instruments start going off on the song, like the soldiers will get into place in slow motion. Then while Carcarius stalks around and the evil sounding singing begins. Monica is hiding with the injured Moynihan behind some crates trying to stay quiet. However, he knows they're there. Picture that, man. Just picture it. Overall, this book could have been taken in several different directions. However, what we got, while not wholly original, I mean, come on, Slimer, or even the movie that came after it, Proteus, is still a fun time. I might have been slightly bored while reading certain parts, but I was never uninterested. Kind of a contradictory statement, but it's true. It's like dialogue. When you watch it in movies, you can be getting bored, but it's still interesting if it goes on too long. Reading for me kind of has that fine line between aware yet dreamlike sometimes, or even tired. I process what's going on, but sometimes if the book isn't fully engaging, I read it in a bit of a haze. Damn ADHD. Still, this is a cool read with salty sailors, genetically mutated freaks, and plenty of gruesome horror. It's not a bad book by any means, so don't take my rating too seriously. It is worth at least one read. I've read it twice now. Overall, I give Deep Black a 2.5 out of 5. Thank you all for watching, and I am Brian Gatto, the Horror Show host. Make sure to like, comment on, as well as share this video. Like my Facebook fan page, and support me on Patreon. Even $1 a month will help keep this channel going on strong, and I greatly appreciate it. Plus, you get access to body counts and other music videos that you cannot get on YouTube because of copyright and age restriction. Monetary support. If you want to support the channel through PayPal at horrorshow37@gmail.com, I'd greatly appreciate that too. But if you don't want to support me with any money, just hit that notification bell to be notified every time I make a new video, and as always, subscribe.